Hey guys, sorry it's been so long in between making Parappa the Rapper videos. I didn't plan on it being like that. I had a video all lined up that I was going to make with two pieces. I spoke about it in the last video that I was going to make this. I got everything set up to make the video, hit record, got everything in frame, and then it turned out that one of the toys I had wasn't working. So first thought, it's just dead batteries. That's fine. I mean, yeah, I had only put fresh batteries in it sort of couple months before it worked, but you know, whatever. So I went back to get the batteries that I needed. They weren't the usual batteries that you usually use, but I remember where I found these ones previously, so I went and got those, figured I'll just film it the next weekend. Got to the next weekend, got all ready, threw all the batteries in, all good to go. The toy still didn't work. So I'm figuring that toy is now just dead, which is a shame, but oh well. So that made me think, well, what am I going to do next? I had this all set up, all ready to go, and my mom was set on it. What do I do? So what I've decided to do instead is just say stuff it, make a bit of a longer video, and just throw in a whole bunch of Parappa stuff that I haven't shown yet. I've got a whole bunch of things that, you know, would take me forever if I made a single video on everything. So I thought, why not just do one sort of big compilation video, throw it all in there, and show you all at once. So that's what I'm going to do. Minus a couple items that I'd like to show, again in a separate because they're a bit bigger and a bit more special. I'm going to try and show you just about everything I have that you haven't already seen outside of just having a glance. So I've got a whole lot of things like plush toys, clothing items, what else? Then you've got some of the singing and dancing toys, sort of like the ones you've seen previously, but different ones again, including some of the ones I was going to show in the video. And obviously then you've got the stranger items again, like some of the vinyl records and then the vinyl record players, like I've shown you in my first Parappa video, which you can go and check out. And then there's other things like what I won't show you today, but I'll show you in another one. Some strange items, things like drink coolers, can coolers, and then a printing toaster, which you may have seen floating around online before. Then another extra cool thing that I have that I'm going to show you today is a Parappa the Rapper marketing kit, an original promotional kit back from when the game was first coming out that would have been given out to, you know, game journalists and things like that. So have a look at that. So let's get started with that, and I'll show you everything I have. There's a good chance I'm missing out some of it. There's posters and things around all over the place that are in storage, but this will be a big look at a whole bunch of Parappa items that you likely have never seen before. So let's have a look.
Kick, punch, it's all in the mind. If you wanna test me, I'm sure you'll find the things I'll teach ya. Be sure to beat ya. Nevertheless, you'll get a lesson from teacher. Now kick,
Kick,
punch,
punch,
chop,
chop,
block.
block,
Once more now, kick,
kick,
punch,
punch,
chop,
chop,
and block.
block.
So I guess in Japan, Parappa was a big enough character to have different food and beverage company use them as toys and promotional items, such as McDonald's. They had these little line of what I believe weren't just Parappa items. I think there were various PlayStation characters. Quite often you'll see Parappa grouped with some of the monkeys from Ape Escape and things like that. So I think that's what this was in that case. Get a little toy description in the back there. So yeah, there's a McDonald's promotional, I guess, like Happy Meal sort of toy. And they also had this little plush McDonald's toy holding the fries there. And that's really good quality. I know here in Australia, at least, you wouldn't get anything that high quality from your Happy Meals. So that's pretty cool. And then also, as you would have seen in my opening sort of title sequence, the little Lipton wind-up walking toy. And these ones, though, I believe were a line of actual Parappa toys. I believe there were different characters from Parappa that you could get, but I've never seen one, never been able to buy any other ones. So I think these are actually quite rare. I think somebody in my comments actually said they saw them going for a few $100s a while back. I certainly didn't pay that much for it. And yeah, it's funny to see there's actually some misspelled English on there, and also that it says it's not for sale. So I suppose these were probably used for something like if you bought X amount of iced teas or something, you could sign in and get one of these, or they'd give you one over the counter, but weren't available for purchase. So that's pretty cool. And we'll have a closer look at these, but these are actually the two that I was going to do a video on, that are quite similar. They're these little Parappa plush toys that dance and sing. As I said, they were sort of the same sort of theme. These work fine still. I'll show you a close-up of that shortly. This little guy, unfortunately, is the one that won't work. So you're not missing too much. It was just a little plush toy that would sort of, dance around, much like the other one does. From memory, it didn't have any music playing, but again, if it was broken and it was missing that I wouldn't have known anyway. But yeah, so let's have a closer look at least this guy. So then we've got things like this Parappa alarm clock, which I'll show you a closer look at in just a sec. It's a really cool piece. You've got your different settings on the back there to change just the time and set an alarm and things like that. And there is an alarm on it, and I'll show you sort of the on-off / snooze button in a second, and the tunes that it plays. There's about 2 different responses that Parappa says once you go to turn the alarm off, and I'll show you those as well in a video. So let's have a closer look at that.
You gotta do what? You gotta do what?
Oh no. I gotta believe!
I also have some pretty cool artwork pieces and promotional posters. One of which that I thought would be cool to show is this, which was used for promoting the PSP Parappa game before it came out. So you've got all your standard advertising there. And then there was down here, which I believe was probably for a pre-order bonus sort of thing, where you could get a Parappa the Rapper skin for your PSP. I've seen those floating around online before, at least in the past, and unfortunately I missed out on getting one, but I really do hope I can find one again. But yeah, that's a really cool, bright, colourful poster piece for the PSP version of Parappa that came out. What I'll show you a bit of a closer look of next is these really cool Parappa vinyl toys of, we've got Parappa and Sunny there. Now what makes these extra good, both in terms of how awesome they are as collectibles, but the quality of them, is that each of these actually has proper fabric clothing. So, hard to see, but I'll show you a close-up, is that Parappa's got his little shirt and jeans on there, and his beanie, and they're all actual proper fabric, so it makes them just, kind of takes them to the next level of, proper toys based on the game. So, we'll have a closer look at those, and you can hopefully see just how high quality build these guys are. Now, I've used the word cool to describe just about everything that I've shown you. I know I'm overusing that word quite a bit, but the next thing I want to show you really is kind of cool. This is probably, I suppose, one of the things in my collection that's probably the hardest to find, just based on the fact that it was never for sale, and the people that got it would have been quite limited. That is a Parappa the Rapper original promotional kit from when the game first came out. So the sort of thing that would have been sent around to game journalists and people like that to, get a bit of a grasp on what the game is, and then be able to put it in their magazines and things like that. So I will show you a closer look at this, but just quickly, so we've got the cover there. It came with some Parappa stickers in there, and none of those have been used, which is quite awesome. A bit of a run sheet there, and you can see at the top it's dated from October 1996, so it's quite old. Inside there's a bit of a description of how the game will work, and in here, which we're going to try and take a closer look at, is a disc that came with it. Specifically says at the top, not for sale. Now, I've never looked at this before, so it's going to be pretty cool that the time you see it is going to be the first time I see it as well. I'm not too sure if it's actually a copy of the game, perhaps it's an asset list or something like that. We'll have a look at that together. And then just on the back there, it's got a description of each of the stages, as well as Rodney, who's done all the artwork for Parappa, and the game's producer. So, yeah, something that's really cool. So, I'll give you a closer look at this, both image-wise, and then we'll also have a look at that CD and have a look what's on there. Well, I tried to have a look at this. It took me a few tries to figure out what's going on, because I put it in my PC, and it was reading that there was a disc in there, and I was able to go through the file directories and everything. But I then came to the conclusion that it was actually a game disc. So, after messing around and firing it up, unfortunately what it ended up being was this. It's just the Japanese version of Parappa. But it is some sort of different version. When I googled the actual code for the game, the serial sort of code, it did come up with just Japanese results that were coming up as a different version, a different edition. So I'll try and show you a little bit closer. Sorry, it's a bit reflective. Let's see if I can focus in for you. But you can see on there's a few different things saying that, you know, it's not for sale, and there's a different version and things like that. Sorry about the mirrored surface there. So it is still a bit of a, certainly a cool thing to have, because it's from that promotional kit. But yeah, it's just a Japanese version of the game, so probably something that went around for maybe review copies, or for people to be able to promote the game a little bit. So yeah, bit of a bummer that it wasn't any sort of maybe game assets or anything like that, but still, it's still really cool to have. There was also quite a lot of clothing items for Parappa, different accessories and that, including a line of wristwatches, which are pretty awesome. This one's still nice and sealed. I've seen a few different designs of Parappa watches. Unfortunately, I've just got the one, because usually they go a little bit more, you know, a bit too expensive for what I'm willing to pay for them. But it's really cool, got all the proper artwork there. It's a bit of a 3D Parappa sticking out there. So yeah, that's quite awesome. There's also a whole line of Parappa socks. I've only got the 2 of these, but there's one for each of the main characters, I believe. So obviously I don't have Parappa at the moment, but yeah, working on getting some of those whenever I see them pop up. Usually I've been able to get these quite cheap, sort of a few dollars a pair, so they're pretty cool. Also, I've found a lot when I've been searching that there's a lot of different types of t-shirts, some of which are actually branded, so there must have been some sort of deal. Like I think there's Paul Frank and things like that have done deals with Parappa at some stage, I suppose. Maybe they just had a bit of a period where they worked in conjunction with you know, Parappa to market it a bit. This one isn't actually anything branded, but there's your image there. Now, I don't know, again, if this was a promotional shirt or something, based on the fact that it actually says on here, Super Hip Hop Game 2000. I'm not too sure if that means it was for when one of the games was coming out, or what it was used for. But around the edge there, it says, "Good job, Parappa, you can go to the next stage now. Parappa the Rapper is Super Hip Hop Game 2000. So yeah, that's quite interesting. Now this next thing I want to show you is one of my favourite pieces of Parappa the Rapper merchandise, both because of the fact that it's iconic to Parappa himself, but also just because of the quality. I believe there are one of these for Parappa 1 and Parappa 2, 2 different ones, slightly different in colour maybe, but they're official Sony products, and that is Parappa's beanie. And they're really, it's just fantastic quality. It's proper thick. You might not be able to tell from this, but it's proper thick material. It's like something you would buy, you know, to wear around anyway. It's properly embroidered with PlayStation on the back there, so you know it's an official product. And there's the little froggy from the front of Parappa's beanie. And it just really is one of my favorite things. It took me a long time to be able to get this. I found different auctions a lot and kept on missing them. I think that in the end I had to find somebody who wasn't actually willing to ship to Australia from the US for this, but a friend of mine who I have in the US, I got the eBay seller to post it to him, to then post to me. So that was the only way I could get it. I've never been able to find them otherwise, shipping direct here. So that's really cool. Really, absolutely one of my favorite pieces. Now, I'm not going to show you too much on this right now because I have made a video previously on more of an in-depth look at what this is. So I'll link that video right here. But there was a line of Parappa vinyl records you could find, as well as vinyl record players, really cool little ones that I'd never seen anything of before. So what I showed in my original video was the little vinyl killer record player that I had, a little red one. Since then, I've managed to get one of these limited edition sets, which comes with the van there, all in its box, an actual vinyl, and a whole bunch of these Parappa different character pins at the top. So again, I'll link that to the original video. You really have to check these out. They're super, super cool. You could get, I think, 4 different colors of these vans. There's the red one that I have back there, this blue one, yellow and green as well. So if I can afford to, eventually I might collect them all. But as far as the vinyls go, you've got this one and the De La Soul smaller record, which I have back there as well. So they're another really interesting and bit of a quirky piece for video game merchandise, but you know, just really awesome. So that more or less sums up just about everything I wanted to show you today, which is obviously a lot of my items. There are a couple of things, as I have said, I am reserving for a little bit later when I can plan exactly how I want to show them to you. That is a Parappa toaster and the can cooler that I spoke about in the opening. A couple quick fire things I'll show you that I have here as well that you would have seen from the opening sort of reel. This inflatable little Parappa. I've also got one that's still sealed there. I'm not too sure if these were used as in-store promotional items or perhaps given out as pre-order items or just, you know, with purchase of the game. They're quite high quality. It's got on the back there from 2001. I think there are different characters. I've only ever seen Parappa, but for some reason I feel like I have a memory of seeing at least images of some different characters. So that's quite cool to have. And then you've got some of your plushes. I've got Master Chop there and Parappa with his little microphone when he turns it around. And these are really high quality as well. They've got the fabric clothing there. And these certainly I'm pretty sure you can get other characters of. I wish I could find more because they're quite good. Sometimes one of the biggest issues that I find with trying to get some items is they just simply won't post to Australia, or I'm unable to bid on them because of low ratings or things like that, where the different places I use just straight up lock you out of doing it. So they're really quite cool. A few smaller things. We've got this sort of little felt Parappa plushie. Quite an interesting texture there. And then this, which is a little, it's hard plastic, this Parappa toy, but the clothing on it is fabric. So that's quite interesting. And then, as I had mentioned previously with the McDonald's toys, this is actually one I didn't pull up just because it's not strictly not strictly Parappa. But as I was saying, when you'd quite often find Parappa items bundled with the Ape Escape little monkeys and Toro, which I believe was a sort of a PlayStation mascot over in Japan that we never really got. I think they were used quite a lot for the Pocket Station marketing, which I've got back there, a Pocket Station, but they're quite cool. They're only small, but Japan seems to be obsessed with having little phone straps that they had. You can get a lot of items. I've got some Crash Bandicoot ones as well, a lot of different phone strap items, so that's quite cool there as well. So outside of the fact that I've got some posters in storage that I haven't been able to dig up, I know I've got one there was a promotional one for Parappa 2 and some fan-made posters that I bought that are really awesome. That's basically everything I have for Parappa. So hopefully that's been sort of a bit of an insight to you on some of the awesome Parappa merchandise that you just might not have seen otherwise, because a lot of it just didn't make its way out of Japan out into the Western countries. So hopefully you've enjoyed looking at all of that, and if there's anything at all that you'd like a closer look at or anything like that, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to show you closer or talk to you about anything that I have. So I hope you enjoyed that. Take care, and I'll make something soon for you all. Bye.